I'm Sheena Aline, your Caribbean College
have
planner.
really strong grades, but they don't have the higher level math requirement.
And I've actually visited this lovely campus. Hi, I'm Sheena Aline, your Caribbean College planner and advisor at the Student Center, and welcome to the Advisors Corner, where we explore a lot of topics related to college and university. Now, in this segment, we're going to talk about internships versus co-ops. Now, when students are looking for a program, one of the big features they want to have, most of them do want to have, is a work experience. They want to have a chance to meet with an employer and work with them so that they help to build their resume and help to grow their network so that when they come out of school, they have something to work with when they go on the job hunt. Now, when I'm on the floor at any of our CutFest education fairs, you're usually when I'm passing everybody's booth, you hear conversations saying, well, we have a co-op, or we have an internship, or we have an apprenticeship. Now, these things mean different things depending on the country you're looking at and the type of school, and each school might have that set up very differently. Now, I'm going to break it down for you, the differences between some of these terms, to help you better understand how it works in actuality. Let's start first with an internship. Now, internships are job experiences or attachments that can be either part-time or full-time. They can either be unpaid or paid. So it depends on how that setup is. So if they are part-time, more than likely you will still be going to classes, and then on some days of the week, you will work part-time with an employer. And you could be paid or unpaid. I know when I did my internship, it was full-time and unpaid. So it depends, and it's okay. It still goes on your resume, okay? And with most internships, once it's part of your program, they're usually a credit-bearing course. So that's also another incentive because it adds towards your credits to graduation. Now let's take a look about co-ops. Now, I know in the last couple of years, co-ops is synonymous with Canada because it's part of their marketing, and when they're talking about their programs, they talk about a co-op option. Now, what is a co-op? Now, in the Canadian context, a co-op is a work attachment that is full-time and is paid work. So how this typically works is that you're registered in school, but you're not attending classes. You're out of school going to work full-time. So usual full-time week is 40 hours a week with an employer. This could be in your location where you are, where your school is, or further out. Your co-op could be even internationally as well. Now, a co-op work term is the equivalent of one semester, but in some cases, a program might have 1, 2, or 3 work terms. They may happen consecutively, or they won't be consecutively. They will be sandwiched between regular semesters. So you can be in class one semester, you go off on your work term, then you come back in class the next semester. And you can go on and do this depending on how many co-op terms are part of that program. Now let's move quickly. Oh, and before I forget, co-ops are also credit-bearing courses. You are evaluated. You have to meet the requirements. Now, I talked about the Canadian context, but let's talk about the fact that there are co-ops in the US. So co-ops is cooperative education, and in the US, this might work a little bit differently depending on how this institution structures it. It is a work-study program, but we found in most cases it's limited based on your immigration status. So many students that are on a visa may not be eligible for a co-op program at some US schools. And again, I said it is not like an abundant amount of schools that may offer it under a co-op system in the US. Now let's move on to apprenticeships. Apprenticeships are job attachments that are for certain programs that are heavily regulated by government. They are usually found for trade programs and some other types of courses. They're either regulated by a professional body or a union. And so apprenticeship is like a basic training. So you are assigned and you work with an employer as part of your training. Now with some apprenticeships though, irrespective of where it might be, there might be nationality restrictions. So students that are on a study visa or permit may not be allowed to take part in an internship because this is something that might be governed by a public entity, and there are different nuances that may restrict your ability to take part in an apprenticeship. So a few final pointers I want to leave with you. Even if a program has a work experience, a job attachment to it, it is not guaranteed. There are certain conditions that have to be met. For example, your grades have to be at a certain level. Your language proficiency also has to be at a certain level as well. Additionally, no one is going to hand you a job. You go through a preparation process to help you to find suitable work. In some cases, schools might have postings about potential job opportunities based on their network of employers that work with the school. So no one's going to say, hey, start on Monday at this place. You have to work for it. You have to earn it. So before you start thinking this school is for me, our program is for me, and you think you fully understand the picture, do your research. Get your information and guidance from qualified sources such as a school representative, your own school counselor, or a professionally trained college, a university planner, or advisor. At the Student Center, we help students to find, apply, and enroll into their suitable schools and programs. We offer events through our CutFest education fairs and events. You can get to meet schools from across the globe. If you're interested in working with one of our Caribbean college planners, to learn more about that, visit www.thestudentcenter.net. Now, this segment was brought to you by the Student Center, your official guide to higher education.